Whoosh! Top of morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the custom card reviews. I'm going to do this real quick. So now without introductions, for this archetype, I was going for Dark World support. Except for that one. So, yeah, most of these cards, except for one or two, on them, is basically has their custom effects mixed with anime cards that never got printed. So let's begin. So this is the Blaster Tree of Eyeball. His effects are you can inflict damage to your opponents equal to this card's attack. Or level. And then you can pay 100 life points to destroy all cards from your opponent's hand and field. So basically, it destroys your entire opponent's hand and the field to the grave, so that and this card attacks 3 times. So basically, 2 more attacks makes it have 38,000 per hit. And it loses a level when it's sent to the grave. So it's basically during the 3rd turn it becomes back to its original level. And then this one, Darkness Skull of Dark World. I think this one has the Darkness Seeds effect. So, if this card is discarded to the graveyard by a card effect, your opponent must send all cards, or specifically pendulum monsters, from their deck and hand to the graveyard. Then this card gets special summoned to your field in the attack mode. And this card gains. Yeah. This is basically from modern day. People use pendulums way more than actual normal monsters. So this card, if it was printed, it would be in ban before. And then, yeah. This one, you can select 3 cards, and then if this card is in your graveyard, you can send this card to the deck, and then draw 3 cards. So, it's nothing too special. But Dark Meteor of Dark World, this card basically allows you to remove all spells and trap cards from your opponent's field or deck to the graveyard. So basically, and this card is special summon in the defense mode, and it gains 100 for each one. So basically, he is the weaker version of the whatever that other Meteor creature is. And this one is pretty powerful. Mixed with this, you could basically get rid of all your monsters, or all your opponent's monsters and spells and trap cards. And then this one, Dark Frankenstein of the Dark World. This card, has a recurring theme. And yeah. So this dice one, this is a newer monster. So let me read it to you. Okay? So this is Dark Dice of Dark World. So this one has the unique effect of if this card is discarded by a card effect, you can roll 2 dice and then both players must draw the cards equal to that combined number of those dice rolled. And then your opponent must discard from their hand to the graveyard equal to that number of that dice roll. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, earn from your graveyard to pick a number, and then you activate it. One is allows you to select 2 cards from your deck or graveyard to your hand. 2 is your opponent must discard all cards from their hand to the graveyard. 3 is both players lose 1,000 life points. 4 is re-choose whose. And number 5 is you can shuffle this card into the deck from anywhere. And then you draw 2 cards. So basically, if you chose like number 4, you can re-choose like number 5 or above. Yeah. And then this is a trap card for it, or the archetype, called Dark World's Pointer of Souls. This card is basically, this card can only be activated if your Dark World monster's effect gets negated by a card effect. Before activation, you can add 1 card from your graveyard to your deck and then shuffle it to negate that card effect and end your opponent's turn. Once per turn, you can draw 4 cards from the top of your deck to your hand, and then you can discard 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card to add all cards from your graveyard and banish them to your deck and shuffle it and then draw 2 cards. So basically, it's saying, oh, you negate my monster, it's during your turn? Well, or, yeah. So it's basically saying it skips your opponent's turn. Now, this is Scary Face of Dark World. So, yeah. If this card is discarded, yeah. So this one, basically you can select 5 cards from your deck or graveyard or banish them to your hand for once per turn. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to your banish zone to your opponent. Must discard all cards from their hand to the graveyard, and then they gain 1,000 life points for each card from their graveyard by this effect. So basically, it's basically saying like, oh, you need life points, that's okay. But if you have like something like converts life or gaining life points to losing life points, like burn damage, well, for my opinion, bad reaction to Samachi. Achi. So then if your opponent has like 8 cards in their hand, then you instantly win the duel, or 4. Now this is the... I'm going a little bit fast, so keep up. And this is like the biggest boss monster in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! History thing. So this is called Multiverse of Infinity. This is just like how Dark Worlds are. But this one has... It requires 3 tribute runes to normal summon. Cannot be normal set. This card earns normal summon. Can't be negated but when normal summon your opponent's card effects or cards or effects. Alright. Or it cannot be activated. This card, and then this card gains 200 or no 2000 attack and defense points for each card from both players' graveyards. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can discard 1 card from your deck to your graveyard to basically summon or normal summon this card. If you do, add 1 card from your graveyard to your hand. So yeah, this basically, it gains attack. Depends on how many. It's like a Sliper the Sky Dragon. And then we got like Multiverse Bender of Darkness. It's a Gemini, so it has a... It can take a monster and like... If you have 2 of them, you can take 2 monsters from your opponent's hand or deck to be summoned, and if you figure out a way to special summon like them, like tribute all 3, and then we got... I'll get to that card last. So, Multiverse of Alcalcos. All monsters from your field gains this effect for once per turn. This card is unaffected by card effects, or by your opponent's card effects, and can't be destroyed by battle, or by card effects. And you take no damage from battles. But instead, this card gains it instead. And if this card is... It has a graveyard effect of summoning like multiverse and the multiverse from a deck, graveyard, or battlefield to your hand, and then shuffle this card into the deck, and then draw 2 cards. So basically, yeah. And I tested this deck out, and the opponent had a username of Zorakeer lost to me when I tested the deck out, and funny enough, he had Darts' deck from the anime. If this card is normal or summon, you can add 1. So I kind of feel bad for him because he lost because Seal of Alacalcos' anime effect is like, if a player loses the duel, they also loses their soul thing. So, yeah, this is what it's trying to reference. Ready? If this card is normal summon, you can add one Seal of Alicalcos card from your deck or graveyard or banner zone to your hand. If it does, you draw 2 cards instead of normal draw phase. If this card is sent to the grave, you can normal summon this card from your graveyard to your field by shuffling 2 cards from your graveyard to your deck. And then its attack points become 2, 2, 0, 0, 0. Yeah. Points until the end of your next turn. So basically, this is just a powerhouse. Because in my duel, I summoned him, and my opponent had like 21 cards in the graveyard, or 17, or no, 22 cards are in the graveyard. And it gained, or plus I had like a lot, so yeah, that's what a reference is. And if you want to duel me, yeah, I think I'm gonna, and these are in dueling book, so if you want to duel me on dueling book, go right ahead. But I'm thinking about challenging the duel logs hung to it. Yeah. And so this is the little bit of a deck profile thing. So, yeah. And each one is the equivalent to, like, all these. Like, hold on, give me a moment. Of course, I forgot about these 2 cards. The Bane, the Sword of the Dark World. So he has the like most probably broken ability. Its attack becomes infinity, and until the 3rd turn are up, and then if it does, destroy all cards from your opponent's field and hand. It has like the crush card viruses effect, but plus this card's but this one your but their effects are negated until this card leaves the field. Boom. To the and it also gains like the number or yeah, so it basically inflicts damage to your opponents. And it makes 3 attacks, and if this card is sent to a grave, you can select 3 cards from your deck to your hand. Then shuffle this card into the deck, and then draw 1 card. And then we got Big Coin of Dark World. So this one is pretty busted, but it's balanced too. How it's balanced? Well, it's like a major upgrade from dice to coin. So basically, yeah, you can activate one of these effects. Here, hold on. You can select 2 cards or 2 Dark World cards from your deck or graveyard or battlefield to your hand, but you can't not activate any card effects for the rest of this turn. Yeah, and it's probably too balanced. Number 2. Both players must draw cards from the top of their own decks until they have 7 cards in their hand, but they can't not attack or activate any card effects until the end of the third turn. Number 3 is your opponent must send or select 1 card from their deck to their hand, but they cannot attack or activate their effects until the end of the third turn. If this card, or if you have a Dark World monster on the field, you can special summon this card from anywhere to your field in attack mode. If you do, your opponent earns life points increase to 1,000,000 life points. So basically, this is just my opinion. Like, if you had the activation of a trap card, and you, like, some reason activate it, then you can summon it, and you can also make an apple pie for it. Because you can make it have all these attack points, or make your opponents have that much life point. But if you had, like, trap card activated before, then you summon it, then you gain... No, your opponent loses life points instead. So basically, you instant win. So yeah, this is what the deck things would be. And it had a light counterpart. But it's like once per turn something. I forgot. So yeah. If you like this archetype, comment down below of who should or what archetype do you want me to do next. I was thinking about doing the archetype, like custom archetype for like YouTubers. Like I made two YouTubers, and I also made a random dueling person that is on Dueling Book. So I made the dueling logs, the duel logs got turned into the zombie logs. Hung and so with all that effect, you can read that. Sorry. And then I got Underground Yugi Spidey. They're fans of YouTubers. So this one, I was gonna put like something like this one, yeah. And if you want me to do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Or a YouTuber, her, her, comment their name, then I'll make sure it's like, and what do you want me to do with their, like, what, like, zombie logs is basically, technically would be the duel logs, but zombie version of him. Like a spooky version. I was thinking about making Hard Like Joe into a custom card. Earned. And sending it to him. Because he makes me laugh way more. And plus, I'm gonna send the, like, basically everyone they're, like, posted on Twitter. So, yeah. And please leave a like, share, subscribe, and comment down below who would be the YouTuber that you want me to do next. And your soul will be mine. I play this trap card. Heard? Bye.